Hello everyone, welcome to our next snippet. This is snippet 33 that we did, and we're now going to do snippet 34 to go with that. Now when we did snippet 33, I did mention to you about creating this tag background again. So I've done some of the steps so that we don't repeat them. So you need to watch snippet 33 before you go on to snippet 34. So you saw me do all this on snippet 33, which is the tags and add this circle. And what I've done is I've added another circle. So I've simply used my template and drawn around the circle and created a second bauble. If you watch snippet 33, you will see how I did that. And you also see in snippet 33 that I added some shading with hickory smoke around the outside. So I've done that as well so that I don't become repetitive. So we've added that, and I've drawn a second circle because we want this one to look different than this one. So we added the big stag here, but we're not going to add it to this one. So with this one, I'm going to take my Ecoline pen. I'm going to use the reddish brown again, which is 422, and we're going to add some colour just to the circle, we'll just do this one circle first. I don't like doing two circles at once. So we'll just take our brush, we'll scribble some of the reddish brown, and we'll just blend that out with a watered down version of the reddish brown colour. Just sort of blend that out, just so it blends out into nothing. What I'm going to use on this occasion is I'm going to use scarlet rather than the colour I used on that one. So this will be slightly redder than the other one. So this is scarlet, which is 334. And then we're just going to blend that out. So this one is slightly redder rather than the magenta, but I'm going to come in and add a little bit of that magenta as well, and just blend that out to nothing. And then I'm going to go back in and add some of the reddish brown, and because I've added water to that, it starts to wick out anyway, which works rather nicely. And you just go in and make sure that you add layers of colour. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of stamping to this. So I'm going to take my stag stamp, and I'm going to use, let's lift this up, I'm going to use this little stag here. So like we've done there, I'm going to ink my stag up. We're going to have to wipe those up, even though, just because they're in the way. So just take my stag again, and we're just going to add the stag image just here as well. So allow that silhouette, because it's a silhouette stamp, allow that to soak in to the card. Don't be in too much of a rush, allow it to soak in. So what happens is you're already creating something that looks different to the previous. So going around with the reddish brown, and the idea of the snippets is if you want to create cards from them, you can create cards, and you can still add those cards to your journals, because then you can look back on them, and it's lovely to look back because it gives you ideas. And also with the snippets, if you've only got a short amount of time to just do any creating, they're perfect. So I'm then using that scarlet that I then keep forgetting the colour because I'm good like that. So then we'll blend out the scarlet with a watered down scarlet. So just blend that out and just drag that out till it drags out to nothing. Just use your tinted water just to drag that out to nothing. Then I'm going to go back in just with my reddish brown, which then starts to wick out because we've got that water on there. And then we're just going to blend the colour out again. And really, with the baubles, it's really important that you take time just to make those pop and actually add plenty of colour. I will add some more colour. I've got plenty of time to do that. I've already added my Snippet 34, just so you can see that. So I've already added my Snippet 34. And then what I'm going to do is take my miniature stamp set, which is stamp set 756, and I'm just going to add some grey text. So I'm just going to add that with the VersaFine Claire Morning Mist, and I'm just going to use my fingers just to add that, just to add a little bit of text. So what I'm going to do is just sort of place that down, but I'm not sort of pressing down massively. I'm just pressing down quite lightly. I'm not going to add the text to the bauble. I'm just making sure that I stay clear of the baubles, but I'm just adding a little bit of text there. The text just gives it a little bit more oomph, if that makes sense. So when I was doing the colours, so let's just clean that brush a little bit. Of course, I've got no kitchen roll. Well, you should know that by now. So let's just take this, make sure, because that sort of reddish brown colour is quite a strong colour. I want you to then take your Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink, and when you've done your baubles, you go back in and add a little bit more dimension just underneath, just to give it a little bit more sort of dimension. Not inside that one, you want to keep that white, so just go on the outside edges. So just keep your tags white because everything just pops a little bit more. But what I want you to do is go round just the areas at the bottom and just make them a little bit darker. It's important that you make them a little bit darker because it just gives it a little bit more depth for me, so it works quite nicely. What I've done then is I've used my, let's bring this in, I've used my Garden Mix tagged, which I use to add the numbers to my snippets, and I've used the Garden Mix tag stamp 899 just to cut myself 25 out, the number 25, and then I'm just going to colour a little bit of that 25, just add a little bit of the red as well, the scarlet, and then we'll just take and just blend that out, blend it out to nothing. I'm just going to take a little bit more of the reddish brown and just blend it out. It's better if you definitely take time just to add those layers of colour. Don't be in too much of a rush You know, yes, I've got 15 minutes for the snippets, but you can take a little bit longer. As long as you're enjoying the process, that's all that matters. So what I'm going to do then is I've got a little stag that I've cut out that I'm just going to add just here. Now, you know that we don't want to add too much dimension to our snippets because you don't want the dimension to affect your journal. So I'm going to add this stag here. Just a few little dots of adhesive. So you're creating a different composition than you created the first time around. So I'm going to add the 25 here. I like just to add them on a slant. So I'm going to add the 25 here, like so. Just bring that down a bit. There we go. I like them slightly on the slant. And then using the same stag image, I've got the wording winter wishes. So I'm going to add winter wishes. So it's entirely up to you where you add your winter wishes. I'm keeping it in my little cluster. You know I like little clusters, and I always seem to adhere the wishes first and then wonder why I get it the wrong way round. So add the winter wishes. Okay. And then I'm going to add some splatters of white. I will add the shading, but I just want to add these splatters of white. And then you just continue to add a little bit more depth. But what I want to show you is, let's bring in this, oh crikey, and this. Okay, just so you can see how different they look. But what I want you to do is go back to 33. Now it's dry. And just add a few little touches of white just to your 25 there. And then add a little bit of white here on these numbers. Add a little bit of white just to your stag images, just so they pop. And then add a little bit of white just to your baubles, like so. And then when your Posca pen is dry, let me just see if I can do this by keeping it in the book. Just add a little bit of shading just under your winter wishes, just so that that's going to pop a little bit more. Make sure your brush is clean because you've used that plummy colour, which you don't want to have. And then just add that. Do you know, I'm absolutely loving going through this book. So just before our time is up, that is snippet 34 completed. But look, it has a different look to snippet 33. And that's why I love doing these so much, because it gets you to look at your stamps in a whole different way. So I hope you enjoyed snippet 34, and I'll be back shortly with our next snippet. Love to all. See you all soon. Bye for now.